Okay, here we go.
In the next half hour, we'll chill with Hollywood's coolest cats at the world premiere.
I've never been part of something as huge as this.
We'll hang with the film stars and get the inside scoop.
What a great character.
Well, it's based on my mother-in-law.
You'll get a first-hand look into how Dr. Seuss's most famous character was brought to life. We'll also go on the set as Smash Mouth and Mike Myers shoot their latest video for the film's soundtrack.
And hang on, hang on, hang on, everybody just get on, get on, get on, get on.
Who are you?
I'm the Cat in the Hat. Hairball.
They created from the ground up the most amazing world. You'd step into it and it was so easy to go to work. You know, it was really, you felt Seussian, and it was almost a character. I had so much fun going to work every day with all of the sets and, you know, the hair and the outfits, and Bo is terrific.
Don't worry, I promise. My kids will be on their best behavior.
You know, it's somewhere between a cartoon and live action, and I think the colors help bridge that. The background of the movie, there's no red, white, and black in it because those are the colors of the cat, and I wanted him to pop off the background.
Everybody making this movie set out to make sure we honored Dr. Seuss and the Cat in the Hat, to try and make a classic. My mom used to read this book to me when I was a kid, and I thought it was a cool hat and a cool world.
Flashdance fever ignited and quickly fanned out across the country.
People hadn't been exposed to dance and music and films for quite a while. So when the breakdancing sequence came on, the audience reaction in the theater was so intense.
I mean, people told me that in Times Square and on Broadway, especially black audiences actually, were dancing in the aisles. I mean, they were dancing in the cinema.
Studio executives, who were openly pessimistic about the film during production, eagerly jumped aboard the Flashdance Express.
Had the movie been a flop, which everyone expected it to be, it probably would be like all flops, an orphan. But a hit has many, many parents. And when the movie became a hit, everybody came out of the woodwork.
There is always a drama that goes on outside the camera with the participants, because there's a three-letter word at work, EGO, edging God out. And so what really happens is each person is trying to claim their piece of territory. And when you have that many cooks in the brew, you have some drama.
So Joe Esterhaus wanted to prove that it was his movie and not Tom Hedley's. And Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer wanted to say that it was their movie and not John Peters and Peter Guber's. And Don and I wanted to say that it was our movie.
It was a gangbang. You know, everyone was saying, I did it, this was my movie.
Every single person who made this movie feared they'd never make a movie again.
McGee's always like, the angels can do anything, anytime, anyhow. It doesn't matter, they can do it.
We love him, and he is our hero. He is the sort of empirical figure that keeps nudging us to go faster, harder, tougher, cooler, funnier, sexier.
What McGee likes to do is elevate the scene to a higher level, not only to make it more colorful and energetic, but vibrant. From the first movie until this movie, he's never lost his energy or his spirit.
She goes here, she makes this happen, boom. Let's see if we can work this out.
I hope you got that on film, because that was hysterical.
The Terminator, starring a rock'em, sock'em, badass cyborg, blasted into theaters.
Everything worked. There was a magic about it.
That magic was the result of an electrifying performance by a world champion bodybuilder turned actor.
It is not a barbaric type of a role.
I think I was inclined not to take it as seriously when I found it was Arnold.
And the vision of a maniacally ingenious director.
Jim does push people. The process is not always fun and games.
In the next hour, we'll take you inside the battle, not for planet Earth, but the Hollywood battle to make the Terminator.
Jim was going to become Jim Cameron with that movie.
You'll see James Cameron convince the Austrian Oak to play a bad guy.
I really didn't know anything about him, so I suggested the Terminator, kind of cringing, thinking he would get upset.
And wage war to make the Terminator his way.
He expects 100% all the time.
And if he doesn't get that, he'll get on a loudspeaker and he'll say, "That looks bogus!"
She actually had a blow-up and indeed yelled at him and said, "You direct puppets very well, but you don't direct people very well."
Strap on your piece and get ready to fight. This is the story of the Terminator. I'll be back.
Bringing SpongeBob and his best pal Patrick Star to life are voiceover artists Tom Kenny and Bill Fagerbakke.
SpongeBob is just funny. It's classic. It's kind of is a bit like the old Looney Tunes that we all grew up on, but it's also kind of sweet and gentle.
It's very clever, and for some reason, whatever reason, these characters resonate with so many different ages.
We write for ourselves. We try not to write over the kids' heads too much and sort of keep the comedy based in character. We try to make sure that we think it's funny.
The cartoon's creator had a clear vision of his show, right down to the voice of his leading sponge.
Steve always had a very good idea in his head of what he wanted this guy to sound like, sort of just a heliumized version of my own voice. Instead of me being excited in this register, I was excited in this register.
Laying down the voice tracks for the show, SpongeBob's creative team went against traditional recording methods and devised a more freestyle approach.
Unlike a lot of cartoons, they do them full cast, everybody's there. You do it like a radio show, you feed off of each other's energy.
He had tryouts all around the country. We had Rod Dedo was terrific, and his coaching staff, who tried out most of the people. The batting cages in LA were filled.
It took 8 auditions, acting auditions, in Los Angeles, New York, back to Los Angeles with Penny, with the studio, with other actors. And then we had the baseball auditions. Every woman in SAG in 1991 or 92 was out there playing baseball with Rod Dedo.